Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Our first story of a not-so-great family relationship, including court proceedings, and of course, justice was served in the end. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. You want the house? Okay, good luck at the renovation. This happened in the year 2015. This is the long story short of the already long story. My grandmother on my father's side died in 2007, bless her soul. She owned a house and a lot, a bungalow type near the sea. This house wasn't paid in full, and there's still remaining balance of about $5,200 US. This is already big money for us. Because my father's the only son, his older sisters agreed he should get the house. There was no will, but he should pay the remaining balance. We lived there and renovated the house. My father did almost 75% of the work. He added 2 bedrooms, ceiling, furniture, added another bathroom, tiled the floors, kitchen sink, and septic tank. No drainage system on that location. Basically, we received the house in bare shape. We paid fully in 2015, but we didn't receive the title. There was so many excuses. 2016 comes, his nephew, a retired commander, visited my parents and told my father that he wants to add a second floor so he and his wife could live there also. My father didn't agree, and he called his older sister if they want that to happen. They just said that they don't want to get involved. His nephew showed him that he already had the title of the house. Don't know how he did that. Maybe he used his political background, I'm not sure. My father was furious. He called me and told me what happened. That time, I already bought a small patch of land for them when they want to retire, but I'm still saving enough money to build a house suitable for their needs. There were court battles that I will not include, but in the end, the nephew won. But there was an agreement that he has to pay my father $7,400. He mailed us the contract that we should vacate the house after 6 months, and there was a specific item that our lawyer pointed out. A, we should repaint the house, no specific color. B, leave the house in original state. Guess what? We hired a construction team to demolish the bedroom, the bathroom, remove the ceiling, kitchen sink, tiled floor, also the septic tank, leaving it in original state. We spent almost $2,800, including the labor. The cherry on top, we painted the house with black inside and red outside with violet dots. It was a huge eyesore. I was bombarded with lots of calls and messages from my aunts and cousin, which I didn't reply. We went no contact after that. My parents now live in a beautiful farmhouse tending their small garden. They enjoy morning walks by the lake, just living a stress-free environment. They're planning to adopt a puppy next month. And our second story. Have fun with that IKEA furniture. I moved into a shared apartment pre-COVID and never met the guy whose room I was taking over. But he was also selling his bed, so we texted back and forth to settle on a price, etc. I asked if it came with the bedding since I just moved to a new country and had nothing like that. He said it did. So on move-in day, I show up, and the only thing on the bed is this ratty old blanket that looks more like a Christmas tree skirt and 2 pillows to match. The kind you can't even really wash and are like a fake silky kind of material. It had tassels, not warm, not comfortable, not clean, and definitely not usable. Not even so much as a fitted sheet left behind. It was like he went to the Salvation Army and picked up the cheapest bedding he could find. I texted him about it, and he said something along the lines of, well, I said the bed was new. I didn't say the bedding was. Anyway, what the F. I couldn't sleep there the first night and went back to my hostel and bought my own bedding the next day. But Buddy left an unbuilt IKEA desk in the corner of the room and said his girlfriend was coming to pick it up sometime during the week. It wasn't in a box, just bundled up and held together with some masking tape, so it wasn't brand new. I stared at it for days before I decided to actually do it. But I was still so salty about the disgusting bedding that I then also had to deal with getting rid of. So I took out 2 key pieces of the desk. Not like a full leg, but not a small, easily replaceable screw either. I don't know exactly which structural pieces they were, but I feel confident that he couldn't have built it properly without them. I had to wait until my other roommates were out to go and toss them in a bin down the street so they wouldn't be able to trace it back to me if the old flatmate asked. Anyway, the girlfriend came to pick it up, and I never heard from the guy again. I like to think he couldn't use the desk and knew it was me, but couldn't prove it and knew he'd been a D about the betting, so he had to let it go. Bye, B. And our third story. The time I did exactly what the Japanese police and Mr. Belligerent wanted me to do. On to the story. In 2008, I was a club owner in Japan. I rented the place from a rascally old man who let me do pretty much what I wanted. The club had a motorized mirror ball hanging from the ceiling, a pool table, and projector left there from the former renters that the landlord said I was free to use. I made a lot of money using the downtime. A club is usually wasted space during the day, setting up party space type events. After weddings, reunions, and the like, the tables would disappear at night and you have a dance floor. One party got a little rowdy, and during the festivities, the crazy host lady thought it was a good idea to pick up a chair and swing it over her head. Don't ask me why, she was very drunk. The arc of the swing launched the mirror ball into the air, smashing to the floor in 1,000 shiny pieces. After my staff cleaned up the broken glass, she promised to pay for it, and I thought that was it. I jumped online, found a like model on Amazon.jp, and added the price to their bill. I don't remember the price, but being motorized put it past $100, with non-motorized versions selling for much less. About 3 hours after, a very angry host lady's husband shows up, receipt in hand, saying I scammed the drunk host lady and he was going to call the police and shut me down and rabble. Our back and forth went on for quite a bit, and honestly, I was getting a bit tired of his macho in-your-face attitude. He then said he would also talk to my landlord and get me evicted. I was at the eye-rolling stage and sarcastically said, "Oh, don't get him involved. You'll regret making him mad." Unfortunately, sarcasm doesn't translate well in Japan, and he jumped on my humor gaffe to say I was threatening his life and called the cops. The cops were totally professional, but a bit overzealous in responding to the call. 3 patrol cars and 2 bikes showed up. I guess the guy made it out that I was in league with the mob, and I guess Gaijin Yakuza in the 2000s equals overkill. They listened to us together, then they separated us and got each side of the story. Then, just to be sure, the police talking to each of us switched places and asked all over again the same questions. Slowly, the cars, one by one, went back to work, leaving only 2 motorcycle cops with us in a back-and-forth argument. All very tedious. Finally, one of the cops pulled me aside and said, "Look, he's willing to pay for the damage, but only if you apologize for threatening his life." Being American, where we see lawsuits everywhere, I was very reluctant to say such a thing, so I walked back to the man and the police and I asked everyone, if I apologize for him getting frightened, this whole business is done? Angry man has his arms crossed with a macho, smug, "Yeah, B, say you're sorry" look on his face. The 2 policemen are also waiting for me to speak. I am really sorry. Really so sorry you get scared so easily. Had I known, implying your weakness, would have chosen my words more carefully. Damn if extremely polite Japanese can't turn into a slap in the face. Dude turns beet red, and I swear to you the policeman on the left let his guard down just enough to let the corners of his mouth twitch into a grin, just for a moment. Then the policeman said, "He did as you asked. Now time to go home." And they herded him into his car. And our last story. Don't pay me? I will destroy your business and send you to jail. This story just came recently in from my friend in Korea. He started working at a consulting firm which specialized in helping foreign businesses enter the Korean market. They also claimed to be experts at SEO. When he told me about this job, I Googled the company. What I found shocking was that if I typed the name of the company into Google, it was several pages until I found their website. I thought to myself, how the F is a company who says they are marketing geniuses unable to make their website show up on the first page of a Google search for their name? Also, they had offered my friend a very high salary of $8,000 per month, which was unusual and very high. I asked my friend to dig into this company and see what's up. I left it there. Well, my friend didn't. He did some digging and discovered that the company was funneling money from the Korean army into his bank account and then laundering. My friend thought to himself, I really need this $8,000, so I'll stick around. My friend didn't particularly care that this company was breaking the law, he just wanted his money. But in the meantime, he did some digging and found some proof. Guy was basically funneling $150 to $200K a month through this company. His employees were just a front. Then came payday, and guess who didn't get paid? My buddy. He approached his boss and basically said, "Pay me." Guy kept beating around the bush. My friend set a deadline 10 days after payday. He was to be paid, or he was going to report the company. He didn't threaten the last part. And come the 11th day, he contacted a government agency specializing in fraud investigations. He walked into their office and dropped off all the evidence and proof he had, which was substantial, everything from receipts to emails, etc. He had everything. Long story short, my buddy's former boss went to prison. He was ordered to pay back all the money he'd stolen, and guess who stole it? His business partner, who they haven't been able to locate. They suspect he went to China. And now not only does he have a prison sentence, he also has a judgment of about $1.5 million from the Korean government. Korea still has debtor prisons. My friend confided in me his game plan was to get that $8,000 and then quit and forget this company ever existed. Just some added info. It was a company of 4 people: CEO, hot secretary, with whom the CEO apparently slept, 2 senior marketing executives, one of them was my buddy. Here's the thing. Those 2 senior executives, one of whom was my friend, didn't have any marketing experience or education. One of them didn't even speak Korean. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.